Hi guys, I'm Tammy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm showing you how to paint this beautiful red, white, and blue bouquet. Perfect for 4th of July. Let's get a little festive, let's have a little fun, and let's get to it. Okay, so getting started, I've taped down my paper. I have my 100% Cotton Academy paper, and use what you have, but that's just what I'm going to use today. And I have my Polina Bright brush. It's linked in my profile. It says it's a number 2 round. It's a German brush. And it's a little bit of a difference in the number of sizes than what we would say here. So this one is maybe, I don't know, like a 12, maybe a 14 in the sizes we're used to. So we're gonna do a little bit of a red, white, and blue theme, just because 4th of July is right around the corner. And I thought it'd be kind of fun and that maybe you'd like to paint something like that. So we're getting our blue mixed up. And then we're going to have a grayish color for our white. So I've got blue and brown already here on the palette. Add a little bit more of this brown, and there's some red in there too. We're just going to have this gray that we will just lightly outline some of those petals to emulate the white flowers. And then for our red, I have some lovely red right here. And we'll get that ready as well. And so let's just get into it. So I've got my pretty large brush here. I think what I'm going to start with is, let's see, blue or red? I'm going to go with red. Okay, so I've got this loaded up here. I want to stipple in with a dagger brush. Just use a pointed one if you want. I want to stipple in our center first, and I'm going to do that with a brown. A nice brown color. I do like the color of that. Okay, and so we're just going to kind of do a little off center, and I'm going to make these little dots. And now this is going to be kind of a side facing flower. So it might be a little bit flatter here because of the perspective, and then a little bit more rounded here. So fairly large center. We'll come back in and add some more details later. All right, and then I'm taking my brush loaded up with that red. And we are just going to start by adding in just a little bit, touching down, not too much, but adding in some petals. So I am following my reference, which is, I'm gonna leave some white space too, which is just the sample that I did. And so we're gonna add a second petal over here, just kind of swinging it there towards the right, and filling that in and leaving some white space. I think that that can be really pretty sometimes. You just want to leave a few marks. And then just pressing down with the belly of the brush, keeping it in mind that we're leaving some white space here. It's lightly connected to that center. And I'm gonna dip and squeegee my brush. And let's do a few coming down over here, sweeping a little bit to the right. And then a few right here as well. So I'm going to dip into my red, and I might want to extend some of those petals, and also adding in a little bit more of that darker red color. Dabbing my brush. So just getting a lot of variation here in the petals that I'm putting down. If you want to extend them out, you can just do that easily. And no, not a hard thing to do. All right, I'm just gonna leave it how it is right now. So now I'm going to grab some of that blue color, and I'm trying not to touch down because I don't want to make purple necessarily right here, but I do want my flowers to be close together. So I'm going to make a rounded petal here, and let's do another one kind of connected to this, and then another little petal here that's just thinner right here in the center, and then it extends out just like that. And then let's connect this a little bit more, and then maybe it's kind of the center that you're seeing through there. And I'm just gonna add one more right there. Okay, and again, if you want your flower to be bigger, just extend those petals out. And that's what you're wanting to do. And there's a little bit of touching down and some mixing, that's okay. If you want to take off some of the liquid, just remove some of that paint with a clean, damp brush. So just grab some paint and then dab it on your paper towel. Grab some more, and you might get some cool effects as well. The variation in the value of what you're painting. Okay, I would like to do, I think, some blue down here also. So we're going to do another side-facing flower. So here's the center of our flower right here, or sorry, the base of our flower. And I want to make a very rounded petal. And I want these to be kind of thin here and getting thicker like that. Everything is coming back to the base of the flower. And we can extend it out just like that as well. Just for some interest, a little fluffiness in the flower. And then let's go ahead and do our white. So since we don't have white, unless I were to use like some acrylic or something, we're just going to kind of make it up. And so what I'm gonna do, and let me add a little bit more brown to this to make it more of a gray. So dabbing my brush, and I'm just going to kind of paint a little bit of these flowers. Just kind of paint around it, maybe skipping some areas, and then filling in some of it with some paint here, just a little bit. So we have a little bit of the outline of this floral, and you've got some red mixing in too. So it's the idea of it, and a little bit of fluffiness there, but you still have the white there. So there's different ways to do it. Take some clean water, and let's go ahead and do another one here at the top. So I'm just going to draw in essentially some petals really lightly, and then let's do another one here. If you don't have enough paint and you're not seeing it show up, just grab some more. And this would be a way to do like some, white daisies, for example, if you wanted to. Just a little bit there on your brush so that you just have that lightness happening, very light, and the idea of those flowers. All right. So for right now, I'd like to start adding in some of our greenery. I have some green on my palette. I'm gonna grab some more. And I'm going to very lightly start to draw out my stems. Very thin right here, touching down, because there's gonna be some green right there where it's attached. And then maybe the stem is right there. And then one over here, another guy, gonna be some green that we'll put in there. And maybe that will arc down like that. And then this one's gonna have one maybe coming out right about here, okay? So clean off the brush there. I wanna add some foliage in and just get that prepared. And so also I'm looking at this situation and I wanna add some more flowers. I wanna add some more red especially. So I'm going to actually do just some little kind of like snapdragon type things. Maybe a little bit of a stem we will attach to it. But first, just a couple little petal marks here, just like that. And then taking that dagger brush, we're going to connect everything with a nice thin stem. If you know me, you know I love a good dagger brush. And sometimes it's just one of those things that if I'm not feeling very creative, it really pushes me into that creative direction, because it's the little thing I need to help me, kind of bring it all together. Sometimes I'm just feeling like I don't have any new ideas, but with a dagger brush, I can really sort of focus on creating some new marks because it's not a brush that we commonly use, but it's so helpful and useful. I'm gonna bring out a stem here with for some leaves, some little stems here, and then pressing down right there. And then let's do another one over here. Just pressing down with the belly of the brush. I really want to make this loose and fun and airy. I want to bring in some more of that blue. Maybe this one, just mixing your blues together. It doesn't have to be a true blue for the 4th of July, but I thought it would be fun to just dab your brush and then just press down. Thought it would be fun just to play around with those classic American colors. And then maybe over here as well. Just kind of going downwards, or maybe, yeah, just a little bit. So let's connect those. When you're doing your composition, you're just kind of, oh, sorry, I needed my green. You're just kind of playing things by ear sometimes. And like I said, this is from a sample that I did. It was actually a sketch. I do love sketching, and just a pencil sketch. And then I'm just using to help me with my composition in my placement of all the things. And some greenery there too, just to fill that out, okay? All right, so we have some red, we have our white, and let's do some more blue at the top. So if you guys are enjoying this video, please hit the like button. It really makes a big difference in how my videos are viewed. It helps my channel, and it lets people know that I'm here and that we're having a lot of fun. Hopefully we're having fun. Make sure to subscribe as well so that you don't miss out on any posts and all the things, and I appreciate that. If you guys have any ideas of a composition you would like to see me do in the future, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments too. I have ideas, but sometimes I run out, and it's pretty fun to hear from you guys, to know like what you're into and what you'd like to see. All right, so these are starting to dry really nice. I want to add some green, which is the complementary color of our red. And so I just dipped into the saturated paint, and I think I'm going to just sort of do a ring around here. We just have one flower that has a center here, so there's that. A little bit of green, and let that just kind of chill over there. And I want to darken up my stems too, so I'm just going to grab some of that saturated green and just go over them just a little bit. You know, adding that dimension. And something to think about, I've talked a little bit about gratefulness here and there, self-care, anxiety, depression. As a therapist, I find it really helpful to mix art. Let's just go over this too. Some little sketchy marks. Art and therapy is so helpful. And obviously we're not doing therapy on this channel, but being able to mix some therapeutic concepts. But gratefulness is one way to boost our mood. Let's do some leaves over here. To boost our mood, give us a new outlook on life. And so I would encourage you to make a list, if you haven't, if you don't already. What are some things that you are grateful for in your life? Who are the people that are always there, that stand up for you, that boost your mood when you're having a hard time? And maybe it's not always people. Maybe it would be pets in your life that you feel encouraged by. You feel like they are comforting, a sense of happiness and wholeness. And, you know, it's not just, and we're going to add a few more stems here. It's not just, you know, people and animals that we can be grateful for. We can be grateful for our jobs. We can be grateful for positions or the place that we live. If we love our home, we can be grateful for the meals on our table and the ability to think and learn and live and enjoy fresh air and being able to move our bodies if we like to exercise. So, you know, if you make a list and you were to put something on there every single day, in a year you would have 365 things, which is incredible if you think about it. And if you were to put 3 things down, you would have over 1,000 items at the end of a year. So developing a habit of gratefulness helps us when we're going through hard times to be able to tackle those battles, to be able to smile at the storm, so to speak, which I'm not asking you to do that. But, you know, the phrase does have some validity. Being able to tackle things in your stressors in your life in a way that's not going to break you. So anyway, I encourage you to think of that today and what makes you grateful, and maybe even just putting to practice something simple every day, even if it's just, you know, writing it down is powerful, but maybe it's even just you acknowledging it in your mind when you wake up in the morning. I'm looking at this and thinking about the things that I want to add into this to make it more balanced. I do want to add a little bit more of red down here because we've got some nice red here and here. Just a few more focal points. So just a few little marks that we can connect with some stems. Just a little bit right there. And I'll just add in that green right away. Right away, filling that space out, a little bit of leaf situation, just a little bit there. And I think I want to do one more. I was thinking of a white flower here, but let's just do a little bit more of this one. Now, this is not something that we're thinking about too much, right? We're just adding in some pretty little brush strokes, just dabbing our brush so that we can have the idea of those flowers. All of this should be stress-free. You know, if you're thinking about being grateful, it's important to be grateful for the art that you can create or that you can enjoy if you're just watching this today. And I love that you're here and that you're present and you're trying to learn. I'm gonna do, let's see. See, this is becoming like, it's kind of changed that composition, but I do want to add a little bit more of like leaves here. So just kind of dabbing and drawing that brush down. So what do you think about that? Maybe one more. 3s are usually good. Okay, and just a little bit more over here. So our bouquet is filling out nicely. What I want to do now is add in some more paint to create some lovely shadows, create some texture in our flower. And I am just going for a darker version of this again, and I'm using my dagger brush. Use something that has a thin point, and I'm just going to create some lines and some little shadow marks here. So we're going pretty conservative by keeping with that same color, but I just want to add in, you know, a little bit of dimension for this guy. So I'm probably going to, let's see, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. Probably going to do some thin marks over here. And you can do a lot of marks. You can do a very small amount of marks. It's totally up to you, obviously. Obviously. But I like to keep it varied. Sometimes I do a lot right here, like a big, large mark here, and then maybe over here just a little bit. I just want to make this guy look fancy, or this gal. And then for the blue, we're going to do the same type of thing. So more saturated paint on our palette, grabbing it, putting it into the mixing well. And for this one, we're going to do some green at the base as well, because that just disappeared, and we're just going to darken it up. So same type of thing. If you want to, you can even just fill out most of this, you know, just kind of paint over with the shape of the petal if you want, or you can do sketchy marks. So obviously it's up to you what you'd like to accomplish. This bloom is pretty open. It's kind of doing her thing, having a good day. All right, I'm gonna switch over to my more rounded brush. So this one is going to give me more rounded brush strokes versus the dagger, which is gonna have some pointier marks. So either one works. Use what you want, use what you have, and just pressing down and creating some dimension. A little bit more paint. I want to make a very rounded petal here. So I'm literally just painting in that round shape. This one became more angular than I wanted, but that's all right. And then just a few little hints right there of color. And we will connect everything nicely when we are done, because we need that little green base there. Okay, so if you like what you see, then you're good to go. We can also darken up this red a little bit, make it more of a burgundy color. And that one is pretty dark, and you can use that just for, and dab your brush, use that for just a few little tiny highlights or moments of shadow. Having those three, you know, colors, the light, the medium, and the dark, can be really pretty. Now this is all just blending in, but if you wait a little bit, you can actually make some distinctive marks once everything is dry, if you want to. Okay, and for our white flowers, I'm just gonna let them be because they're unique on their own, and I don't think they need more. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. That was a lot of watery paint. That would be a valid thing to say. If you wanted to create some lines on your leaves, this would be a good time to do that also. And I'm gonna darken up with some nice reds. It's concentrated red. These guys here, just creating some shadow marks. These are very, very loose flowers. And if they bleed into each other, that's okay. You know, it's totally fine. It's nothing bad. Just extending that down. So this is our red, white, and blue composition today for the 4th of July for the contribution. I am going to do some splatter to finish this up. So I'm using my number 6 round, just a smaller brush, because I want my splatter to be smaller. And it's gonna cover up this right here, which happens when you dip your hand in paint, just splattering around and leaving some fun, pretty marks. All right, guys, happy 4th of July to you. That's coming up soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, as I'm darkening up my blue and my cat is meowing, I do teach watercolor on Patreon. So if you're interested, the link is in the description of this video. And that's where I have exclusive tutorials. I even have monthly art prints in some tiers. And I know Peaches, I hear you, girl. I'll let you out soon. And I even have available live stream with me on a monthly basis, so you can check that out if you are so inclined, guys. And I also am open to any suggestions. If you guys have something that you'd like to see me paint, I really love to hear from you. It helps me, it makes my day, because then I know what you guys are wanting to see, and to me that's very meaningful. And I try to do the best that I can whenever I have some extra time to create something new based on what you guys are asking for. All right, we're gonna take off the tape for this guy. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, subscribe to my channel if you don't already. I try to post 2 or 3 YouTube videos a week, and that is kind of the schedule I'm trying to live by. And all the things, guys. All right, thanks for being here, and I will see you soon on the next video.